Well, good afternoon and hello world. I'm Maya Sundermeyer and I would like to welcome you to the latest episode of my blog series. So far, I have been able to share my own experiences on living with autism or mild Asperger's syndrome, and in my case, I have high functioning autism. Other times, I like to give my 2 cents on what has been going on with autism in the media, and I admit that I have been not doing that as much. And I think I should because my voice needs to be heard on those things. And a third area that I enjoy doing is now I cover topics or I give tips to individuals on the autism spectrum, as well as their friends and their family members and their peers and their mentors. And I like to cover topics from anything on the work environment or the workplace or to anyone in the community. I'd like to talk to them as well. And then I also like to cover topics that I am passionate about that have absolutely nothing to do with autism whatsoever, because I would like you guys to know who I am as a person. I don't want you guys to think that I only just talk about autism. Like you or me, I have interests, and I would like you to know who I am as a whole person. And I'd like you to know the girl behind the camera, in addition to some of my other big hopes and dreams for these blogs one day. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do today is I am going to give tips to the autism community, and I'm also going to talk to you potential and current employers out there, because I think this needs to be said. So, I had been wondering for a while how many people on the autism spectrum happen to get excluded by our employers when we tend to get married, we get our own condominiums or our own houses, we have children, we graduate from college, we go on from a lower position to a higher position, or we change jobs and go from, let's say you're going from an interim job and then you go to something a little more advanced, like an engineering job, and whether or not we're excluded from having a going away party thrown by our boss and our coworkers, and we're given gifts. So I decided to do a little research on that, and my advice on that one is to know that you can't take those kind of things personally. From what I've learned is that a lot of times employers who exclude you like that, they aren't doing it because they're prejudiced. They're doing it because, A, the majority of the people who they are getting gifts for have known the boss for a really long time and they're best friends, or they're involved in the same sort of activities that the boss is. Like, let's say that they have an after-work soccer program, and for those who are interested in participating in that soccer program, the boss tends to favor and look at them. Other areas might be that every Friday the boss likes to take the coworkers out for a beer, and let's say that the individual on the spectrum, and in addition to the other employees, don't like to drink. And so that can stem from those factors right there. And then another big one is if there's a conflict going on at work. Like, let's say that that someone at the place of employment may not like something that the coworkers are doing, and it might be really unethical, and the boss and the employees might consider that a slap in the face. So to them, it's like they don't trust the coworker who reported them, so they will tend to get excluded, because that person might just be a whistleblower. So for those of you on the spectrum, and for those of you that are parents that want to coddle and protect your kids, do not take it personally and do not jump to conclusions and assume that the boss might be jealous or they might not understand that an individual with autism can or cannot do this or that. That may not be it. There may be other factors as well, as I just discussed a little earlier. Now, for you bosses out there, I want to mention something, okay? You are working with an individual with an autism spectrum disorder, And they may be a little more sensitive to things like presence or like seeing that you and the other coworkers refuse to attend their things, yet you seem to make time for almost everybody else in the company or in the organization. And to them, it's going to hurt because it's very hard for us to find and make friends and connections who are actually going to get to know us and be committed to come do our things. So it's a little more hurtful. And for you as a boss, I think you need to accept and respect that and understand that your employee, who's on the spectrum may feel a little wounded because you didn't go to their things. So you need to think about their feelings and you need to understand. As for there being conflicts between you and that employee, there's nothing I can do about that. I mean, maybe you just don't get along. But you need to understand again that these people want to be treated with respect. They want to be treated like a human being. I mean, they're not a doormat. They're not a pile of dog crap. They're not a half of a person. They're a whole person. And you saw something in them that could help keep the company up and running, if you know what I mean. So, anyway, if you have any questions or comments, I would love to hear from you. And especially those of you that are on the autism spectrum, how many of you have gone through exactly what I'm talking about? And, I mean, I would love to hear from you. Do not be afraid to share your commentaries and your stories. And also be sure to subscribe to my channel and share my footage with Twitter and with Facebook and with your friends and your family members. And until next time, I'm Maya.